Crawford will be fighting Shawn Porter November 20th. So what does this mean for Terence Crawford, man? This is his last fight. So as far as we know, this is his last fight on Top Rank. Why is this fight so important for Terence Crawford? Well, for one, a lot of the Terence Crawford haters or the dudes that just don't like him, they run by this whole thing saying pretty much Terence Crawford hasn't really fought anybody at welterweight. He needs to show improve. He needs to show step up in competition and all this other stuff. And here we go. Is Shawn Porter step up in competition at welterweight? Yeah, he is. He's one of those guys, man. I think Shawn Porter is just one of those guys. He's in that category where he's just good enough, but he's just not good enough to beat the top dudes, or like good enough to defend and hold on to his belts, against the top guys. He's in the same class as like Danny Garcia, man, one of those type dudes. I would say Shawn Porter's a little bit better than Danny, but they all fall in the same category of fighters. Welterweight is not really, as far as the top guys, man, it's real dry right now, man. You got Errol Spence, he's on the shelf right now. He's damaged goods right now. We don't know what's going on with him. Virgil Ortiz is up and coming right now. You got Boots, he's up and coming. You got Terence Crawford's the top dog. It's not really looking too good up there, man. So when you say, okay, who else can Bud fight at welterweight? After Porter, man, I would say Boots, man. Boots and Virgil, that's it. There's nobody else there, bro. It really ain't. Conor Benn ain't fucking with Bud. So the only real comp I can see is really, I think Bud will punish Virgil Ortiz. I think Boots is probably a better matchup for him right now, man. And Errol Spence, I don't know, bro, with Errol, man, because his eye and all of that, and people gonna say if Bud was to fight Errol and win, that he only beat Errol because of his eye. That's the reason why, man. These fights. That's why I hate when these fights get postponed or they drag these potential fights, because stuff like that start happening. A fighter get hurt, knocked out, injured, something happened to him. It stalls the fight. It drags it out even more. And then when they do finally fight, one of the fighters is gonna be labeled as damaged goods, and then the other fighter is never gonna get his credit. That's pretty much what's gonna happen if Errol Spence fights Bud within a year or a year and a half. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna say Errol Spence, he's damaged good, his eyes busted up, or the car accident. They're gonna probably bring the car accident back up. But this fight is significant for Bud, man, because it's a test as far to really gauge and see how much better Terence Crawford is than Errol Spence. Because there's a lot of people that don't think Bud has what it takes to beat Errol, man. Even me, I was kind of like back and forth. I was like seesawing with the when it comes to them two fighting. 1 minute I was kind of like leaning towards Errol. Like, Errol's defense is a little bit better than Bud's. I was kind of putting it in that context. And then, I'll go back and I watch some more of Errol's fights and I watch some of Bud's fights. I don't know, man. I think it's safe to say, even before this eye thing, I would have to say, man, Bud edges him out. I would have to say Bud have to edges that fight out, man. I think so. And I think Bud might be the first person to stop Shawn Porter, bro. I got Bud winning this fight and potentially stopping Shawn Porter. But I can see it, bro. I can see it. Shawn is a tough cookie, man, but I just don't see where he got that's gonna beat Terence Crawford, man. And I think Terence Crawford is probably gonna beat Shawn Porter more convincingly than Errol Spence did. It's not gonna be that I try to fight his game, I try to fight his fight type stuff. We're not gonna really see that. I think Bud is gonna go in there, man. I think he's gonna go in there and try to hurt Shawn, bro. So he could possibly stop him. Look for that, man. See, it's gonna be a decision or it's gonna be a stoppage, bro. Shawn ain't winning that fight, but This is a good fight for Bud because we get to see. We saw all these dudes against Shawn, man. We saw how Danny Garcia performed against Shawn. We saw how Errol Spence performed against Shawn. We saw how Keith Thurman performed against Shawn. All of these top welterweights, how they performed against Shawn. And now we're about to see how Terence Crawford performs against Shawn. And I'm telling you right now, if he spanks and punishes Shawn Porter, I don't want to hear nothing about, oh man, he ain't, he's Shawn Porter's over the hill. He already got knocked down by Errol Spence and all this other mess. I don't want to hear that, bro. Give him his props, bro. Because just a minute ago, you dudes were saying he ain't fighting nobody, and then when you finally fight somebody, then you talking about he ain't the person he fought is over the hill. Come on, bro. Stop. Give him his props, bro. Give him his props. But we're gonna see, and I think Bud got to show out, man. He got to show out, and I think he will, but he got to show out, man. He got to prove a point, bro. He got to go in there and smash Shawn Porter, man. I'm talking about either knock him out or just, go in there and just batter him for like 12 rounds to the point where it's no mistake that he got the clear. There's no split decision. It's unanimous type shit, So we'll see. We'll see, man. But shout out to Terence Crawford, bro. Yo, shout out to fucking Shawn Porter, though, man. See, all this side of the street bullshit, man. And look, Shawn fought him. Shawn fighting him. So what happened to all this side of the street stuff? Shawn Porter is on the other side of the street. They made it happen. Come on, man. Stop, bro. Come on, man. Let's not get into that. Man. But anyway, let me know what y'all think, man. Does Terence Crawford have to show improve in this fight? Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. This is Rebel Life Boxing. See y'all later on the next one. I'm off this.